get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
It was not a criminal court.
C News and George Stephanopoulos have reached a settlement with President-elect Trump in his defamation lawsuit. The network agrees to pay $15 million.
Corporate media is in crisis. No other way to spin it, okay? MSNBC, CNN, their ratings have reportedly been slashed in half, collapsing to their lowest levels in nearly 30 years.
Corporate media is in free fall land. The numbers speak volumes. Networks like MSNBC and CNN are bleeding viewers, with audiences turning to the Food Network and Hallmark instead. But it's not just about ratings. It's a full-blown credibility crisis. Shady deals like ABC's $15 million payout to Donald Trump and the growing inconsistency in reporting have shattered public trust. As these media giants struggle to stay relevant, independent creators are rising, offering transparency and authenticity that mainstream outlets seem to have abandoned. In today's video, Don Lemon dives into why corporate media is collapsing, what it means for the future of journalism. Let's get into it.
Crisis. No other way to spin it, okay? MSNBC, CNN, their ratings have reportedly been slashed in half, collapsing to their lowest levels in nearly 30 years. Let's talk about MSNBC first. Their primetime audience has taken a staggering 53% hit, dropping from 1.34 million viewers before the election to just 632,000. That's according to the latest Nielsen reporting. What is behind this? Well, there are a few things, but first and foremost, corporate media is in the midst of a credibility crisis, and perhaps it is because of situations like this. Watch.
ABC News and George Stephanopoulos have reached a settlement with President-elect Trump in his defamation lawsuit. The network agrees to pay $15 million as a charitable contribution to Trump's presidential library. ABC and Stephanopoulos will also issue statements of regret as an editor's note to the March 2024 article and television segment that prompted Trump to file the lawsuit earlier this year. Trump sued Stephanopoulos after he asserted in an interview that Trump was found, quote, liable for rape in a civil case, despite the fact that a jury actually determined Trump was liable for, quote, sexual abuse, which has a distinct definition under New York law.
$15 million. $15 million. $15 million in order to what? Make a profit.
The decline of legacy media isn't just speculation, it's fact. Once considered primetime powerhouses, MSNBC and CNN are now losing massive chunks of their audiences. MSNBC's ratings have plummeted by 53%, dropping from 1.34 million viewers to just 632,000. CNN is down 47%, struggling to even break 400,000 on some nights. And this isn't a Fox News victory, it's a broader rejection of mainstream news. Shockingly, even the Food Network and Hallmark are outperforming these networks. The shift is clear. People are tuning out traditional media in search of trust and transparency. Consider ABC's recent $15 million settlement with Donald Trump over a defamation claim. Instead of defending their journalism, ABC paid up, feeding the perception that corporate media would rather avoid conflict than uphold the truth. As Don Lemon points out, these decisions further erode trust and push viewers toward independent alternatives.
In the first place about the settlement. Here's part of the exchange between ABC anchor George Stephanopoulos and Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Pay close attention.
I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
It was not a criminal court. It was a
civil court.
It was a civil court. And by the way, she joked about the judgment and what she was going to do with all that money, and I find that offensive.
I'm asking you
but
about
as a rape victim who's been shamed for years now because of her rape, you're trying to shame me again by asking me this political question.
You've repeated that again.
I think it's offensive. As a woman, I find it offensive. My political choices. I've endorsed the man that I believe is best for our country. It's not Joe Biden. And you looked at the dueling rallies yesterday in Georgia. Laken Riley's family was with Donald Trump. They weren't with Joe Biden. The same guy yesterday that apologized for calling her killer an illegal, who wasn't illegal. And here you are trying to shame a rape victim. I find it disgusting.
I mean, you keep saying I'm shaming you.
You are. The question, it is.
How is the question asking you about a presidential candidate who's
You're asking a rape victim.
And there's no question about that. And
You're
you've courageously talked about
because
that.
I've been raped. I think that's disgusting.
No, I'm questioning your political choices because you're supporting
shaming me. You're
someone
trying to
who's been
shame
found
me.
liable for rape. No, actually, I'm not trying to.
You are. That's exactly.
You're not
what
answering
you're
the
doing.
question.
I think it's disgusting.
Well, you're welcome to say that, but you have to answer the question. Why are you supporting someone who's been found liable for rape?
I just answered your question.
Soon after that, Trump filed a lawsuit, did it down in Florida in federal court there. He claimed that George Stephanopoulos and ABC News defamed him by saying a jury found that Trump had raped E. Jean Carroll. What the jury actually found in their 2023 verdict, just to be precise, is that Trump was liable for sexually abusing Carroll, not rape as defined under New York law. However, the judge who presided over the case later concluded, when dismissing Trump's countersuit against E. Jean Carroll, that the claim that Trump raped Carroll was, and I quote here, substantively true. Okay? That the judge wrote that Trump raped her in the broader sense of that word as people generally understand it, though not as it is narrowly defined by New York state law.
When media giants cave to political pressure, it's more than troubling, it's dangerous. Take ABC's $15 million settlement with Trump. Many believe it wasn't about journalism integrity, but fear of FCC retaliation or political consequences. By folding, ABC didn't end the issue, it empowered Trump. Within days, he launched new lawsuits against a polling firm and a newspaper. These actions send a clear message: giving in doesn't bring peace. It invites more attacks. As Don Lemon argues, this kind of appeasement erodes journalism's role as a watchdog and makes corporate media complicit in its own downfall. Watch this segment, it's eye-opening.
It's a matter of semantics. So why would ABC News willingly pony up $15 million to Trump? Is it perhaps because they don't want Trump to stick the FCC on them? And if that is the case, then their fear could end up doing what? Emboldening Trump. Here's the proof, because days later, the president-elect filed a lawsuit against pollster Ann Selzer, remember her, and her Des Moines Register newspaper. So perhaps that is proof that trying to appease Trump in this fashion, in these situations, that it's only going to backfire.
Public frustration with media hypocrisy is reaching a boiling point. It's self-inflicted. Just look at Morning Joe. After years of portraying Trump as a threat to democracy, they engaged with him behind closed doors. No cameras. No transparency. That's not journalism. It's betrayal. Viewers see the flip-flop and they're not buying it. These behind-the-scenes games only deepen mistrust and send audiences fleeing. The result? A credibility gap that continues to widen, and corporate media has no one to blame but itself.
Our friends over at Morning Joe, remember Joe and Mika, they went down to Mar-a-Lago. They went to meet with Donald Trump to do some course correction and to, sort of change things with the president-elect. This is them on their show.
Two things. You can do two things at the same time. You can say he had fascist rhetoric and still go in and talk to him.
Yeah.
You know why I do that? To get the read of the man. You know why I went in and talked to Macron? To get the read of the man at a crucial time in EU funding and NATO funding. Do you know why I went to leaders in the Middle East who were angry at the United States, and I sat there and I listened to them attacking me personally for 45 minutes because of U.S. policy? You know why I do that? To get the read of the leader, to get the read of where the country's going. So I can come back here and talk to you and let you know what the hell is going on.
With context and
give you context, insight, and background. You know everybody we have on the show that's a reporter? It's what they do every day. They speak on background.
Their viewers were outraged. Their viewers said that they felt betrayed, that Joe and Mika were unwittingly renormalizing Donald Trump. The same day that they announced on their show that they had made the trek down to Mar-a-Lago, their ratings, their viewership tanked. For the audience, it was too soon. It was timing. It was a move. The move to them felt disingenuous and a form of
Corporate media is collapsing, and frankly, it's no mystery why. Americans are fed up with double standards and political pandering. These networks claim to stand for truth, yet their actions say otherwise. This credibility vacuum has opened the door for independent creators who offer what legacy outlets can't: honesty and real connection. These new voices aren't shackled by corporate interests, and audiences are responding. We're witnessing a media revolution where trust must be earned, not assumed. And traditional outlets are scrambling to keep up.
Called Trump an existential threat to this country for years, but now that he is back in power, that you're happy to sit and chat with him. Not that you want to do it, that it was so quick and the cameras weren't rolling. Okay, so Vice President Harris's digital director said as much in an interview with Semaphore. This was just this week, okay, and I quote, he said, "Americans are never going to not trust the New York Times, and they're never going to distrust the Washington Post. But," he says, "I think that in a Trump era, you're going to start to see frustrations with the mainstream media come to a boil. And I think there will be smart people who try to fill that gap, more individuals who create content on left and center-left messaging." So that means what? Us. That's not a shot across the bow at corporate media, at the corporate media types, but perhaps it is a warning shot that your viewers, they want you to be real with them. Otherwise, you could end up, without even realizing it, you could end up like Joe and Mika. You could end up like George and ABC, MSNBC and CNN's prime.
So what's really behind the corporate media crisis? It's a mix of changing viewer habits and a breakdown of trust. People are walking away from mainstream news tired of spin, bias, and half-truths. Settlements like ABC's $15 million payout to Trump confirm what many already believe: the networks lack backbone. And then there's Morning Joe. After years of blasting Trump, they cozy up again, alienating their own audience. These missteps aren't just embarrassing, they're damaging. As Don Lemon puts it, the future belongs to those who are willing to adapt, be honest, and stand by their reporting. Independent platforms are doing just that, they're becoming the go-to source for millions. If corporate media doesn't rebuild trust fast, they risk becoming relics of a bygone era. What did you think of today's video? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more.